This episode of Young and Pregnant starts with Jade. Jade has been getting along better with Shaun since the therapy session. She meets up with Christy for dinner and talks about how much their therapy session helped. Christy disagrees with the therapist's opinion because clearly she knows way better than him, and she says Shaun attacks her with his words and he knows what he's doing. Jade says he has his on and his off days, but she really does feel like he's trying to be better. Lexi is happy to be back with Kyler and they talk about future plans. He wants to go to mechanic school for mechanics, as he calls it, and wants to leave town to somewhere where they offer a certifying program. Lexi wants to stay close to home if they do move. Brianna and her sister and mom sit in a room to talk about her relationship with Robert. She has spent every day with Robert past 2 weeks, and they were telling each other I love you after 1 week. Vanessa calls her out for moving too fast and accuses her of saying I love you just to say it to him. Brianna says that Robert is funny and cares for Brayson, and she just really likes him. When Vanessa doesn't see her point of view, Brianna turns around and gets real hostile real fast. She says just because Vanessa and her boyfriend waited 6 months to say I love you doesn't mean she has to. Then, while she was holding Brayson, and then she got up, just dropped him in her mom's arms and knocks over the poor baby's bottle and says she's leaving. Very Janelle-esque moment. Vanessa says she's acting like a child. Isaiah has a flat spot on his head, so Kayla took him to a doctor to get a helmet for his plagiocephaly. But she's concerned about the health effects, not the appearance. Stefan is shaken up by the possibility of the financial aspect of it if the insurance doesn't cover it. Shen is in town for Bar's brother's trial, but Ashley wants her to keep her distance. Bar goes to talk to her and agrees it's best to keep the two separated. Also, Bar finally goes to Ashley's parents' place and apologizes for disrespecting them and trying to fight them. Good for him. I feel like people haven't been as hard on him since his fight with them wasn't caught on camera like Stefan and Kayla's mom's fight was, but at least he apologized, unlike Stefan. Pastor T accepts the apology and is glad that he's in the picture, and she respects him. Brianna admits that Vanessa is older than her, but Brianna feels like she's the more adult one now because she has a child. As we've learned from Janelle and the other Brianna, you can have a child and still be 13 years old mentally. I almost can't believe something so stupid came out of Brianna's mouth, because if anything, Vanessa is more mature than you for not having a kid so young. Either way, Vanessa apologizes to Brianna for being too hard on her, but she warns that just because Robert is better than Danae doesn't mean he's the best. Being better than Danae is really not too much to brag about. Jade says Shaun is lying about little things again and he hangs out with people she doesn't like. By doesn't like, she means they're basically a bunch of drug-using losers and she doesn't want the negative energy or influence on Shaun. Jade says Shaun used to party when he was 14 or 15 and she doesn't want him to go back to that stage. Jade's family had drug and alcohol addiction issues and she doesn't want to relive that experience with him. Lexi meets up with her close cousin Courtney for the first time since she was pregnant. Courtney says Kyler and her were always off and on, and she thinks Kyler has a lot of growing up to do. Lexi thinks they've already grown up a lot since the baby, so I'd hate to see how Kyler was before all this. They talk about whether she wants to move away. She doesn't want Tobias to grow up too far away from his grandma, and she says Kyler better not move away and leave her a single mom because she isn't doing this on her own. Bar's birthday is coming up, and Ashley is planning a surprise party for him. She knows he's been worried about his brother Troy's upcoming trial, but he doesn't talk too much about his feelings because he thinks it makes him look weak. Shen says Troy is crying about his charges, and now Shen is crying. Bar says Troy has a criminal history, but it's all BS and it's nothing violent. Not to detract from the seriousness of the situation or disrespect anybody, but I looked up an article about Troy's arrest and it said that his girlfriend was the one who turned him in for the murder after he cheated on her. And when she came into the police station, she came with her dog named Troy. I'm a bad person for laughing at that, I'm sorry. But I think a moral can be learned here. Don't cheat on your girlfriend. Or, kill people. And then cheat on your girlfriend who knows you killed someone. Anyway, this major stress going on is making Shem want to patch things up with Ashley. She asks what she can do in the meantime to make the animosity go away. For her, she needs to not be disrespected. Bar says Ashley needs to stop too. The disrespect, that is. It turns out that Kayla's insurance covers Isaiah's helmet, so there won't be any financial stress. Kayla is talking to Luke, meaning they kissed, but she says it was nothing serious and she wants to be single. Stefan, being the opposite of logical as usual, says that Luke is a downgrade for Kayla. Okay, Stefan. I just want to know who told this man all his life that he was attractive, because I hate to break it to you, but that person was lying. Even Kyler or Shaun would be an upgrade from him. Kayla says that his girls are a downgrade more so than Luke is to her. Brayson's 6-month birthday is coming up. Jessica announces that she is moving to Oregon when the lease is up in a few months to live closer to friends and family. And it's up to Brianna and Vanessa if they want to come with her. Vanessa doesn't want to. Brianna says she will think about it, but it's not just up to her anymore. I guess her boyfriend only needed 2 weeks to become involved in her living decisions. Kyler asks Lexi out on a lunch date, and on that date he asks her to go on vacation with him to Arizona for a week. He used to live there, and he wants to show Lexi his hometown. Christy set up a photo shoot for Chloe's 6-month birthday. Shaun was supposed to be there, but is not. Jade calls him, and he rudely says he wishes she didn't call and gets mad at her. He says he's not coming. Eventually, Jade once again kicked out Shaun. She doesn't want him with his druggy friends, and she says he can't have Chloe till his life is together. She cries and says she feels like she takes care of everyone, yet no one is there for her. The implication seems to be that Shaun is doing hard drugs, though this isn't confirmed. Ashley is getting ready for Bar's party. Shen is not invited, though Bar's siblings are, but she might just show up anyway. Ashley considers asking her to babysit to avoid that situation, and says she'll kick her out if she does show up. Kayla and Stefan take Isaiah to get his helmet. Of course, the first thing Stefan says is he wants to draw a huge Nike sign on the helmet. On the ride home, Kayla asks, "So, you think you'll interact with my mom now?" Stefan doesn't even want her over there with the baby, actually. He says she's not that important. Then he says, "I'm more eligible to watch my son than you are, Kayla. I have more experience." Who is letting Stefan watch children, though? Kayla finally somewhat stands up for herself and says she is the one with Isaiah 24/7, not him. They argue some more about his cheating, and Stefan says the sight of Kayla disgusts him. The irony with this dude continues to be very strong. And that's all for this episode of Young and Pregnant. Do you think Brianna is moving too fast? And do you think Shaun's issues go deeper than just hanging out with sketchy people? Leave a comment down below and make sure to subscribe for Teen Mom recaps every week.